Yes, good evening, Eagle family, and we certainly welcome you to this town hall important meeting. We're very appreciative of you taking the time out and joining us for this town hall meeting. I'm very appreciative of this opportunity that's been afforded us of just sharing with you some information regarding some of the things that we have done and some of the plans that we've made as we prepare for your return back to campus. First and foremost, your health and safety is important to us. So we have been looking at a number of things, and of course the things that we've been doing. We're going to continue to do those things, but at the same time, we're going to just put a different kind of spin on it and be more careful and more cautious about how we do things. Not necessarily that we won't do things, but making sure that as we're delivering goods and services to you, that we don't compromise your health and your safety. I do want to share with you this particular slide. It kind of tells you, I won't go through all of it, but it shows you all of the areas that Business and Auxiliary Services is responsible for, and all of the units that fall under Business Auxiliary Services. But more particularly, I wanted to zero in on a new area that we have basically opened up a new operation. It's the Passport Service Office, and we wanted to make sure that you are aware. I know that there are a lot of restrictions to that now, but as those restrictions are lessened and it becomes a better time for doing some kind of travel internationally, then just know that we have an office on campus that provides that service. But next slide, please. And of course, one of the things that we wanted you to know is that we will be implementing the following procedures and protocols to ensure the safety of all our customers, our employees, and our stakeholders. All the customer-facing areas will take place at the reception desk or counter, which will be enclosed with a plexiglass barrier, and that's for your protection as well as the staff member. Signage will be placed by all customer queue-up lines and high-traffic areas to signal one-way and directional aisles, using arrows. And of course, the number of patrons, as Mr. Clem made mention of, in any service unit will be limited to ensure social distancing. So Business Auxiliary Services will be basically, there will be admittance allowed in the Business and Auxiliary Service units, and while admittance has been allowed, it will require that all stakeholders, including employees, wear face coverings. Also, all persons entering the area will require temperature checks upon entry to determine overall wellness. And then all areas that operates as touch points, counters, tables, etc., will be sanitized, and gloves replaced by staff members, of course, every 30 minutes. Next slide, please. While we are elated to have our constituents, you returning to campus, campus dining will offer a phased approach to service offerings. They will basically be keeping at the forefront health and safety protocols, making sure that they are in line with the CDC recommendations as well as the local and state governments. And this means that as overall stance on COVID-19 and its direct implications continue to change, so will our operational structures. So there's going to be some operational structures that will change as we go along. They're not going to be so rigid because it depends upon how things are occurring, whether or not it will be something that would remain in place. But basically, we're saying this is going to be basically a fluent kind of plan that where we'll be flexible and we will make the applicable adjustments as we need to. And then, of course, we will move in steps towards a new normal. that safeguards everyone's health while allowing campus activities to resume. And the phased approach will enable our dining team to proactively support each level of this transition with appropriate tools and techniques that strictly follow, again, local, state, and federal guidelines. Next slide, please. Just in general, we want to just let you know that our staff, Eagle Dining Services staff, obviously will be equipped with PPE equipment, personal protective equipment. Hand washing will be obviously occurring. Team member health issues, things will be put in place to ensure the health of those persons serving. Food safety will be at the forefront. Sanitizing and disinfecting will be ongoing. Social distancing measures. So when you come into the dining hall or go into the retail dining locations, you will see signage and you'll see arrows. You'll see signage that's reminding people of the 6 foot apart. And of course, the Eagle Dining Service will also be called upon in the event that someone is quarantined. That team will be the one providing the food to that particular resident hall that's been set aside to accommodate those persons who may be under quarantine. And of course, technology, we'll be looking at technology to the degree that we can to help obviously mitigate some things and also move some things along. And then also we will have carry-outs and prepackaged options being made available. Next slide, please. So basically, as the health and safety protocols, there will be plexiglass barriers that will be installed at all stations. All stations will have plexiglass barriers. Even the checkout, when you come into the main dining hall, you will see plexiglass barriers up there, as well as throughout the stations that are stationed inside the dining hall. Masks, as has already been stated, will be required for all employees, customers, and visitors. And of course, masks may be removed only when sitting down to consume food on site, if applicable. Temperatures will be taken of every employee, customer, and visitor prior to or upon entering the building. We talked about social distancing. There will be traffic patterns. We would ask you to follow the signage that you'll see on the flooring. And of course, locations will be utilized, separate entry and exit doors where possible. Occupancy in all locations will be limited to 50% of the permitted occupancy. This number will include employees, customers in line, and customers dining where applicable. And I mentioned earlier, all surfaces will be sanitized every 30 minutes, as well as the tables. And of course, all employees, customers, and visitors will be required to use hand sanitizer upon entering the building. There will be sanitizer stations positioned at all the entrance points and throughout the dining hall that we would ask that everyone take advantage of. And also, you will be required to do hand sanitizing upon your entry into the building. Next slide, please. Now, some of you are probably wondering, well, how will things operate within the dining hall? And of course, just so you know, we are looking at setting up some remote stations throughout the campus. We've already identified another location, a remote location that we'll be setting up on the other side of the campus that will allow compensate for the reduced capacity of the dining hall, since we'll be having limited seating. Obviously, we need to make food more accessible and make our locations and dining areas more accessible. I will tell you that food trucks will be very prevalent on our campus. Branch Street will obviously have food trucks, and we will also be looking to put food trucks where the old Chidley building was, where it's going to be called the Chidley Greens, once it's a green area, once they are finished with it. And so there will be a food truck there. And again, there will be a remote distribution location on that side of campus as well that would help us. And again, the key here is that seating capacity will be based on CDC recommendations. It may be reduced or eliminated in the dining hall. Tables will be spaced to allow for social distancing where applicable. And with limited seating capacity, carryouts will be encouraged and strongly recommended. And if seating based on CDC recommendations, if seating is eliminated, then our only mode of getting food to our students and faculty and staff will be a way of carryouts, and it will be at that point in time required. In all stations, you will find something a little different this time when you come in. All stations will be staff served. It will not be a station where you can just pretty much self-serve or serve yourself. It will be staff served. It will be staff with a staff member, and that staff member will obviously give you whatever you're asking for, whatever entree or whatever you're asking for. They'll basically put it on your plate for you, and of course that again is in support of COVID-19 and taking the necessary health and safety precautions we need to not only protect you, but also protect others as well. Some other things you need to know about. One very exciting thing you need to know about while you've been home, sheltering in place and being safe. We've been working hard here. Our contractors and facilities management, our Eagle Dining Service Manager, Business Auxiliary Services, we've all been working tirelessly to complete the construction of a full-scale Starbucks, one of the flagship Starbucks. In fact, it will be the largest Starbucks that you will see in the college industry in terms of the size of it on our college campuses. And so we will have a Starbucks that will be opening up in August, and it has nice patio outdoor seating. And of course, the outside and inside seating will be reduced, however, to allow for social distancing and occupancy requirement. Again, this is full scale, top of the line in terms of that new service you'll be taking advantage of. And then, of course, with Chick-fil-A is requiring that we take a couple of registers offline in order to maintain social distancing and occupancy requirement. And so that we will be obviously adhering to that requirement. And then there will be new traffic patterns that are being established to maintain social distancing while in line. And at Subway, there will be new traffic patterns also that will be established to maintain social distancing and to compensate for the single entry door. And then with the convenience store, there will be a new entry door that's been established to maintain social distancing. And again, there will be adequate signage that will guide you in that area. Next slide, please. And lastly, I'm sorry for taking so long, lastly, and I kind of let the cat out of the bag earlier, to our students, to our faculty, to our staff, and to our alumni. Again, we're going to be opening up a flagship Starbucks, fully licensed Starbucks. Will be located at Shepherd Library. And also students, we have heard you. You've been asking about the pizza. You've been asking about the wings. And I'm happy to say and announce that our Pizza Hut that was located in the lower level of the Student Union is returning back to our campus, and it's going to be opening up in the lower level of the W.G. Pearson Dining Hall, where you can resume, your pizza eating, your wing eating, pasta, and all of that. So I hope that you enjoy that. And again, on behalf of the team and the university and everyone, we want to welcome you and look forward to your return back to North Carolina Central University, and we will ensure your health and safety. God bless you. Thank you.